Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all is well, and I hope your guitar journey is going famously. And today we have a little acoustic lesson, but you could do this lesson on electric too. Acoustic, electric, whatever you got. And we're gonna work on some exercises, working your chord changing, your strumming, your rhythm, your timing. Maybe you'll learn a few new chords. And we're also gonna play this a few different ways. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And it's gonna take some exercises and put them in a musical context. So it's not just learning by rote memory, but we're gonna be playing things that sound musical, right? We're gonna play this a couple different ways. I'm gonna show you how to do it with strumming. We'll also arpeggiate it. Get some different sounds. Oh, and if you would like 5 free lessons that really get more heavily in depth into chord changing principles and strumming and whatnot, click on the link in the text box below this video. And I'll send you 5 free video lessons that come with a coinciding ebook that has all the chord charts diagrammed out and written lessons, a fretboard diagram. It's a great 1-2 punch to help you along in your guitar journey, and it's all for free. Just click on that link in the text box below the screen. All these chord changes use a concept I've developed called shared fingers or shared notes, where we are leaving 1 or 2 or however many notes that corresponding chords or adjacent chords share, and you're going to leave that finger down. See, a big thing about chord changing early on, which you really have to work on, is keeping this fret hand attached to the guitar neck in a cluster using the proper technique. I'm going to take you in on a tight shot and show you this up close, but you don't want your hand coming apart for any change, and you want to leave it down. You want to have your fingers cupped close to the neck as possible at all times on your fingertips. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when I bring you in on a tight shot. So we're going to use this as an exercise, but it's a musical exercise. And this is kind of what my teaching kind of is all about, where we kind of start off with the basic sounds. You know, it all should start from some sounds or some good sounding chords, and learning, instead of just kind of just hacking along with straight quarter notes, you know, or learning like the EFG song or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You know, I try to make it fun and put these things in a musical context because it makes it much more empowering and motivating. And if you can do these exercises, then you'll be able to play songs. You'll just be substituting different chords, right? So the chords in this lesson are, here's an A suspended second. And you don't play the low E string. Notice my thumb is muting it, right? And then you have an F major 7th chord. Now that first finger is not flat because you want to get the open low E string, right? Again, my thumb is muting the low E and the A string, just playing the top 4 strings. And then you have a D minor chord. C add 9. I'm not playing the low E string. You can mute it with your thumb or have this second finger spill over to mute it. And then my G chord. Playing the G with 4 fingers because this makes it an easy transition from the C add 9. So just to show you up close, when I'm talking about the shared finger principle, if you look up close here, when you go from the A sus2, and remember always, you're on your fingertips, your fingers are cupped, right? They're not flat hitting these other strings. This is good technique. On your fingertips, the 3rd and 4th finger or your pinky is kind of attached to the 3rd finger, and you're as close as you can be to these strings. Not out here, not separate, in tight, nice and close. So these movements are very economic and efficient. So when you go from the A sus2 to the F major 7th, it shares this A note. So you leave that second finger down. I'll do the change real slow. See? You kind of pivot around. There's the kind of mechanics of the change. You're kind of pivoting around this second finger. Don't take your whole hand off, take it apart to put it back together again, right? You never want to take that hand apart and do this. You want to keep it in this cluster, and we're sharing fingers. So just practice that back and forth. Might take you a little bit to get that. We're leaving that second finger down. similarly. We're on the F major 7th going to the D minor. Again, that chord shares this A note. So we're going to leave that finger down. And all we'll do is we'll move our 3rd finger to the 2nd string, to the B string, 1st finger on high E, and there's our D minor, right? So it's a really easy movement once you kind of get the hang of it. And again, you're kind of pivoting around this 2nd finger. Just drop that 3rd finger down to the B string, 1st finger to the high E. So all 3 changes slow so far. A sus2, watch the pivot. F major 7th, pivot again, D minor. Now for G, C add 9, the next chord, the 3rd finger stays down on that D note. Okay, so you're on D minor. Now all you're going to do is you're going to add your pinky. Now notice the benefit of having the pinky so close. If it was out here, you'd have to come all the way from here to get it there. You always keep it right there. Even if you're playing other chords like E major, A minor, E minor, notice the pinky position. Notice this technique. Wrist is down. Fingers cupped, close to the strings at all times. That's the technique you want to use. So then just bring that pinky down and then bring up that 2nd finger, 3rd fret on the A string, and 1st finger, 2nd fret on the D string. And there's your C add 9 from the D minor. So just practice that, the mechanics of that change. Back and forth. And then C add 9 to G is very easy because these 2 fingers stay down. And all you're going to do is move this 2nd finger and 1st finger up 1 string each. And there's our G. There's C add 9. That's a real easy one. That's why I like teaching this G chord with 4 fingers. A lot of you probably are playing your G chord like this with 3. But you wouldn't be able to play that. We want that C add 9 with 4. Okay? Then, when you go to G, back to start over again. On that A sus2, you have to move your whole hand because there's no shared notes. But if you notice these 2 fingers, all you do is just kind of slowly stick them together and stick them down. Notice it's not this. I'm not going to take my whole hand apart. Come on, A sus2, there. These are already kind of clustered together. Keep them clustered. Just drop them down into that A sus2. So here's all 4 changes slow. If you're struggling with any one of them, like the G to the A sus2, just practice that back and forth. Practicing the mechanics of the change. Yeah, so now that you know all the chords, you saw them up close, and you saw the way to go about the proper technique of changing them, if you're not familiar with those changes, just practice them one at a time. Back and forth. A sus2, F major 7. That's what I call the mechanics of the chord change. And if you notice from that tight shot, man, my fingers are sliding on the strings. They're hardly coming off the neck at all. You want to pretend like your fingers are like magnetically attracted to the strings. They can't get that far away, right? They're magnetically pulling together. And that pinky is always riding on that 3rd finger, right? So practice whatever change you're struggling with. You know, if it's the D minor to the C add 9, just go back and forth. 5 minutes a day. You know, you have a free couple minutes during the day. We all have those little pockets of time where we waste time doing whatever, right? Grab your guitar. Keep your guitar out somewhere on a stand in a room you're in a lot. Grab your guitar. You got 5 minutes before dinner. Practice your changes back and forth, back and forth. 10 minutes before you go to bed, practice your changes. Those little 5-10 minutes really add up. You don't need an hour, 2 hours every day at a given time. 5, 10, 15 minutes, these spare little gaps. Pick up your guitar, practice those changes, go through the progression, right? Really, really helps. Let me give you a strum pattern.